Hey there, fellow salvagers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the Stalwart Ancients. Episode 4, Taking Lab Equipment Inventory. Okay, the rats are done being murdery. I'm going to go back to hunting. Inside the base, let's continue replacing floors. Because of the movement speed penalties. Now, the movement speed penalties aren't all bad, mind you. The reason I mention that is, for Killbox, it actually might be useful to have this, like, ancient reinforced concrete to slow enemies traversing towards us, meaning removing the steel tile, or alternatively having a path for us where we, and this is only like an example, but a path for us where we have our own door to get to this door, and then a path for the rest of the enemies where it's like cracked concrete that sucks for them is a possibility. So the question I have for you is, should I pave the entrance or leave it cracked for move speed? Should I try to take advantage of the terrain traversal? It's not a big modifier, but like whether you want me to try to design a Killboxy type area around it or not, it's up to you. All right, and all those fart toots are done, but I'm not going to go back down there because there might be some more splice toots down there. So I'm going to wait until my rot stink is basically resolved before continuing the lab search. Because it's not worth running into splice toots and then like getting a massive amount of lung rot where we have virtually no medicine to remedy it. Speaking of medicine, we are completely out. So I think what I'm going to do is start planning heal route. Because I believe there's none in nature, as this is a volcanic biome that just doesn't have it, right? So if we want to start using the naturamine that we have to make medicine, now hopefully we find some medicine down here once we're able to search this some more, because obviously there's an organ box there, but like there might be some medicine around here, but we haven't found any yet. It looks like cracked is the popular option. So here's what I'm going to do. I would like to create 2 doors here like this, where we can bottleneck enemies into a 1 wide. I'll leave the front door open, able to be closed when we want. This door will remain closed for our traversal. And we'll pave up. So I'm gonna remove the floor here, and we'll pave up this section here for movement speed. And what we can do is we can keep the enemies like in the dark and on cracked floor for terrain advantage. And this will make a lot more sense once we have gas turrets. Machining is now done. Let's get gunsmithing next, because we have bows, and I would really like to graduate away from bows, if at all possible. Pave the home. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. Because we're just replacing an immense amount of flooring the cracked flooring with the concrete. We're also going to need to probably start mining steel for it, I'd imagine. Unless we want to, like, break down all the furniture down here. The problem with breaking the... Oh, there we go. I think the purifier... Yeah, okay. This room is, like, 132 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56 Celsius, because it's, like, purifying whatever's there. So this is, like, a mini oven that just, like, periodically goes off on its own. For corpse removal or whatever. Are we allowed to harvest heel root? There is no heel root, so... sure? I guess? There's not really an answer. We can't build anything or farm anything out here, but we can still cut down, like, wild trees, wild plants, stuff like that. But there won't be any colony-owned anything beyond this wall. But, like, mining's fine, you know, resource exploitation's fine, but using the terrain is not. No footprint beyond our walls. Alright, so who has the worst rot stink? Breakfire? So once Breakfire's rot stink is, like, much more resolved, I'll go ahead and head back into the vault. Now, for now, I might even keep this door closed, but that should allow us to traverse in and out faster. And then, if we line this with turrets, once they come in, they get shot. I don't have any good metals for turrets yet, though. We just have steel. We bought a little bit of plasteel, but that's ideally for a multi-analyzer. We have a little bit of stuff over here. Maybe I'll have aggro haul this stuff in, but we haven't found like uranium, which would be ideal. So let's do a quick search. Plasteel, none mineable. Uranium, none mineable. Now, generally the cryptocyte caskets in here have uranium, so that could be another source of uranium for uranium turrets, which are not flammable and tougher. But there's no known sources of plasteel uranium. The other thing I could try to do is to try to find the lava lake, to mine in here and figure out the whatever is in this zone. So I can queue that mining up now. Alright, Break, how is your health? Still not great. What would be the benefit of finding the lava lake? I don't know. Can't really know the benefit until we see it, right? I mean, if it's a giant open area that has uranium or plasteel, that's a benefit. But yeah, I have no idea. Alright, need more med treatment. Aggro's already on top of it. Yeah, there might be exploitable resources. There might be... I don't know, who knows? I like how his hairstyle covers his architect eye. Maybe his architect eye is like infrared or x-ray or something. You know, it doesn't... hair doesn't bother it. It's funny looking though, I must say. Looks like our meat and veggies have been getting nice and full. It filled back up, which is great. Alright, Break, how is your health? Minor? I'll go back down once I'm below 20%. Because he got out of there at like 78%. Maybe I won't even push it. Below 10%. There's no need to, like, expose ourselves to lung rot. You are mining very close to the base. Does that mean you never expand the base inside the mountain? Read the rules. Guys, if you're going to ask questions, please read the rules. Read the details. I wrote them all up to answer all of the commonly asked questions so that I don't have to repeat myself. So I don't mean to specifically call one person out, but like half the questions I see in chat, answers are already provided. And I do that for your benefit, so take advantage of it. Raid Alright, so it is raining, and unfortunately for me, these guys are impids that breathe fire. So what I'm going to do here is break fire and aggro. Oh, and there's something going on over here with the mountain. There's like a break in the mountain. But break fire and aggro are going to switch weapons, because I need range more than I need firepower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to harass these impids. Now keep in mind, impids do run fast and they breathe fire, and aggro is a tinder skin. So we don't want the enemies to get close to aggro as a result. So aggro, what I want you to do is I want you to grab a simple meal. And at the moment, everyone is going to be scheduled to be inside. Eat your meal, and I want to just whittle them down with the great bow. So their weapons recurve as their longest range, so I hypothetically outrange them. So I don't want them to get close to me. Oh, you already have a leg. Oh, you're dead. Ooh, herbal meds. Any of them have other herbal meds? No. Okay, yeah, it doesn't really matter who else I kill. Can't touch this. You want me, you have to close in. Oh, got you. Right in the pelvis. And in the arm. Beginning assault. So one down. Lung got punched. Ooh, nice. Another pelvis. Another thing I could do. Red mist, come join. I can go invisible. Impids have notoriously horrible melee skills, right? They're weak melee. They suck at it. So have her go invisible and chop them up in melee would be a good method to deal with them. Although I think aggro is going to manage to probably get them all before that becomes needed. Oh, yep, they're fleeing. Okay, I don't necessarily need to go after Cavrat. They're downed. The ones that are down but not dead, I mean, not really clothing worth grabbing, so I'm not going to worry about it. Aggro, because he's bloodlust, does not care about corpses, but the rest do. So what I'm going to want to do is to get rid of the corpses in a way that it doesn't bother anyone else. So I suppose what that means is a dumping stockpile. Maybe like along the lava edge. So human-like corpses that are not colonist. Rot or fresh, don't care. Corpses, and then what I'll do is create a zone here. Reverse it. Actually, I'll make it bigger. Don't get close to the corpses at all. And then everyone is going to be Area 1 zoned, except for Aggro, who can drop the corpses there. And that way, Aggro, who also runs at like extraordinary speeds, is responsible for cleaning corpses, and no one else has to see the dead bodies, which would be a mood break problem. There's one. Sammy, thank you for the resub. 2, 3, and meds. And this isn't really like what I would consider footprint for colony. I'm moving dead bodies that are on the ground around. It's not like I'm farming or building turrets. This isn't a violation of the rules. I'm just dumping bodies. They're not owned by me. You know, we're getting rid of them. All right. Well, Rimola, or whatever your faction's name is, thanks for sending victims. All right, in the morning, I think it's probably going to be safe to go back down into the lab. So lava pools are deep water. They're in terrain impassable, so you can't really dump corpses in them. Shallow lava, you can, but there is no shallow lava on the map right now. All of what you see here is deep lava, which is functionally, you know, impassable. So here's the terrain affordance map. It's kind of hard to tell because the lava's red and the terrain affordance is red, but basically we can't path there. So the walk speed of this limestone is like, so actually one of the things I can do here, if I want to block access to the faster walk speed, is just to like wall it up, so they can't even use that to path to us. It's weird, but it works, so I'll do it. Once we have the material, I don't yet at the moment. Yeah, shallow lava is the thing. So when you're on the lava maps, you have lava flows. So if you go out to the map here and you click on the terrain and you go to the lava lake, a lake of lava, of deep lava that is surrounded by volcanic rock. And then also, given that it is lava field, it is volcanic heat, periodic lava eruptions can burn people and buildings. So what ends up happening is every now and then there will be volcanic eruptions and lava will expand. Kind of like how rivers and lakes can flood in RimWorld when there's the same mechanic for lava. So if there's a lava flood, oh, here we go. If there's a lava flood, I can take advantage of it and dump corpses in it. So we've got a giant lake here. I found jade. I think I would like to mine this out here. And the reason is if I have to kite enemies, aggro is faster than everything. So having a giant loop would be awesome for aggro's kiting abilities. But I don't see any other. I see some components and some steel, but no uranium. I'll do a search just in case. No uranium. No plasteel. Okay. So all the minables are known. But still. Yeah, that is a lake of lava. So if you're wondering, these are pools and these are lakes. So I knew that this was another transport crash. It's an enemy, never mind. So given that this was a lava lake map, I knew that there was a lava lake here. Peg Lake? Okay, bye-bye. And if you're wondering why I'm killing them, there's no reason to capture them. If they're a permanently hostile faction, I can't ever become friends with them, and we never recruit people that didn't volunteer for it, so there's no reason to capture anyone at all. Gunsmithing's done. Sweet. So I could start making bolt action rifles, but I'm probably gonna hold off until I get gas operation because SMGs are so much better. So next research is gonna be blowback, working towards gun turrets and gas up. All right, now that that's done, it is 2 in the afternoon. Everyone's needs are mostly met, so let's rally downstairs again. Break. Is there somewhere you can hack? Yeah, you can start hacking that door as everyone else convenes. Alright, missed. Go for it. And we have another neural stabilizer array. Which means we have 2 of 10. So, lab progress. 2 neural stabilizer arrays, nothing else. If you're wondering about the details, that you can read the details. Oh god. Splicelings, run! Oh boy. So there's a Splice Hulk containment in here, and this was not empty a moment ago. And Red Mist just got acid burned from that Spliceling. So this Spliceling is what happens when you mutate. When you are, oh, we got it. When you are a failed genetic experiment, you turn into one of these things. And they are Splicelings. You can butcher them for human leather and human meat, but they are not human. To that end, I am going to throw this thing on the surface because bloodlust pawns, like aggro, like to wear human leather. But I'm not going to butcher normal humans for it, but I can butcher Splicelings for it, and then I can also turn their human meat that I get off them into chem fuel. So they're not useless, they're just, you know. Alright, aggro, you stand back. Flip, you pop that open. So I know that there's another enemy in that one. And it looks like we found some patient gowns in there. Cool. So I'm going to forbid this door until everyone's healthy to take out this Splice Hulk. Because I don't need Red Mist, who's injured, to be our tank for it. Oh, another grow light. And a rapid infusion pump. And also a shelf of medicine, which we badly, badly need. Because we are very low on medicine. And Red Mist's hemocollapse syndrome is only stalled by good medical tending, which we can only really do if we have good medicine. So rapid infusion pump is the next piece we found. So let me update the chart. So here we go. We got 2 neural stabilizer arrays, 1 rapid infusion pump. I hope that's easy enough for you guys to follow. Should be. And as a result, we have some medicine. Perfect. So, this door will probably lead to this door, and then we can search the rest of this facility. I just didn't want to have to go into this section, having to traverse through, like, a potential oven. Sounded bad to me. But there's also nitramine and medicine here as well, which is great. And then, survival meals back there as well. Okay, Red Mist, Breakfire healed. Or, she's patched, I should say. And maybe I'm going to switch weapons back. All right. As far as archite capsules, we want to leave them down here. If we're doing our genetic experiments down here, we're going to want them as fuel for the injections down here. So we're going to leave them here. Could I use that oven to get rid of corpses? Not really sure. But given that the corpses are actually useful to us, I don't intend to. Oh boy. Don't go in there. Splice Fiend, Splice Hulk, Splice Fiend, Archite, Archite. Forbid the door. That is something to be done later. And obviously this leads to something else over here that we won't know about until we're healthy and able to deal with the threats. We have a gene crate. Nice. Another gene crate. And I'm leaving these closed because they have gene banks in them, but I don't have the ability to bank genes at the moment. So there's yet another one. So we might actually get some really good implantable genes as a result. And in here we have a bionic stomach, a death acidifier, and a control sublink. So I could definitely sell these two, and then the bionic stomach might be useful, especially if someone gets mutated to the point where they have really high metabolic demands, or really poor metabolic efficiency. So at the moment, Breakfire doesn't eat very much because he has low metabolic efficiency, or high. Same with Aggro and Red Mist. So we don't really have any hunger problems at the moment, but we might as time goes on. I'm also going to need to have Red Mist go topside soon. So a room that has nothing in it. Got it. So I'm going to have all these guys take a break. Red Mist, you are going to return to surface. Break, you're going to grab the sublink. And Aggro, you're going to grab the acidifier and return to surface. There's virtually no reason for us to implant acidifiers, but we could sell it for money. So that's not bad. Won't gene implantation void genes gained from experiments? Yes, it would. You can only have one xenogerm. So any xenogerm implantations would get rid of it. So, for instance, let's say Flippers, hypothetically, goes through his first cycle, and the xenogene he gets is Marksman, making him a really good shooter, and the negative one is Pacifist, so he can't fight anymore. Well, that would suck. So what we could do is we could cook up a xenogene implantation for him to overwrite the genes that he inherited through experimentation, so that he's not essentially useless, right? So there's definitely reasons to implant, but also reasons to experiment. So just to back up a second, you can extract genes from people, but you cannot extract archite genes. So what that means is if Aggro went through a gene extractor, we could get Tinderskin or Poor Intellectual, but we could never get Blur Runner or Masterful Plants. So the positive genes you can never scan. You could potentially find them in crates, you could potentially buy them from traders, but you can never scan for them. So we might want to, the other thing that you could potentially do is, so again, for Flippers, let's say we have a bunch of negative genes that we have scanned. Let's say we give Flippers Psychically Death and Awful Art. Granted, he's an artist, so maybe we don't do that. But that would allow that would technically raise his complexity, which reduces the chance of a positive result from going through gene experimentation. However, it would also make him highly metabolically efficient, meaning that he doesn't have to eat very much. Because one of the issues, of course, that we have is eventually we'll get hydroponics, but we have a pretty finite amount of food available to us, right? This is a lava flow, which doesn't have a lot of animals, and we don't grow outside, so we don't produce a lot of food in bulk. There is some good hunting right now, but that's not necessarily going to be true forever. So there's a lot of different ways to approach gene experimentation through this mod. I just figured it was worth mentioning. All right, so Red Mist, you go take a break. And it also looks like we have just about paved the base. So I'm going to take that off as a priority. We want to continue searching the underground lab. So what I'm having now is like these guys go to the storage areas and pop them open. But I'm not gonna go any deeper into the lab without Red Mist, because Red Mist is a brawler, and that's kind of necessary to have one. So we got a detox lung and a prosthetic arm from here. Not bad. And I'm going to forbid the doors that we have yet to open, even though we technically could open them, because I really do not want to stumble into an enemy. unprepared. And as Nukta mentioned, you could become a full single phage for meeting a vampire or recruiting a vampire, and then deciding to implant additional genes on top of single phage. Like, so there's a lot of different ways to potentially use gene implantation, because unlike a xenogerm implantation, so in default biotech, you create a pack of genes to implant into people, and if you implant again, it overwrites the original. The gene experimentation program here just keeps adding genes, so you can collect more and more powers. Potentially. Again, potentially. So they're the two systems work in concert with one another if you want them to. Quit sleeping on the floor. I'm trying to put everything down here outside. All right. Aggro, sleeping, break fire, sleeping, so you might as well just sleep outside. Go to the other side. Did that splice? No, it's still right there. And the reason I put the corpses right next to the lava has a way of catching fire, things adjacent to it. So this wasn't an arbitrary selection. This was a way to quickly get rid of corpses because they'll just burn up here. Which is kind of nice. So the boomalope might even catch fire. I haven't noticed a lot of, like, living things catch fire adjacent to it. But dead things, yes. Fire will spread. Maybe it can spread to living things, it's just not something I had noticed for myself. Alright, once everyone's up and recreated and rested, we'll continue with the exploration. So this is a super weird Killbox area, but highly functional. So what we'll do is we'll bottleneck it to a one wide here for defensive purposes, and we can just fill this area with like turrets. And I really hope to get better metals. So once we get turret tech, I might want to go into the Ancient Danger to try to recoup some uranium, because none of the deposits around us are uranium or plasteel, which would be far better of a material to use. An aggro has cut through the mountain. Nice. So now if he needs to kite, like, a lot, he can. Enter. Eat and enter. Enter. Actually, you're waiting on... No, you're not waiting on anything. She's in a pretty bad mood, though, so I gotta be careful with her. And I haven't forgotten about the corpse, don't worry. It's still here for a day and a half. Alright, that's a nothing room. No real threat there. Let's try all the other rooms that we don't know anything about before we start fighting enemies. And the other thing I could do is probably just a claim all. Now, in the long run, all the things down here will add to colony value, and as a result, we will want to break them down at some point. because I don't need to have a giant lab driving up colony wealth. You know, as you can see, here's where, like, it's very clear when we, like, breached, right? Because this didn't exist before we came in. And here is the full lab. So this is the actual lab equipment. So let's start writing it down. We have an Archite pathing array. So the Archite pathing array gives you a chance to obtain a second random Archite gene upon success, but a 50% chance to obtain a second random side effect upon success. So it might be a good trade-off, but there you have it. So mark that down as obtained. We have two. So we have a complexity harmonizer. So the complexity harmonizer mitigates success chance reduction caused by genetic complexity, but injection time increases 1 hour for each one complexity. So that's a really nice one to have, because if we're doing complex genes, we won't die as a result from driving it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to claim and uninstall anytime I find something. So this is the splice frame uplink, another single part. The splice frame uplink allows you to see the individual outcome chances, but it increases the splice mutation chance by 3 and mutation Hulk by 2 and Fiend by 1. So it lets you see the gamble, but like it makes it gives you a way higher chance for mutations. So got it. An Archite recycler. Archite recycler allows you to refund the capsule if it fails. We have another cog array. It's going to take me a second to write that down. Or actually, that's our first cognitive recovery array. Excuse me, I misspoke. So that decreases the length of injection coma by 1. Because when you get a new gene, you go into a coma no matter what. A xenogerm implantation coma. So, oops. Here's what we have so far. Not bad. A lot of the single items. 1, 2, 3, 4 more neuro arrays. So that's a lot more neuros. That's neuro 3, 4, 5, and 6. Added to the chart. Another cog array. The cog recovery array number 2. 2 rejection buffer coils, decreasing rejection chance. Those are some of the nicest ones to have, because reject chance is not. It's not fun to spend material and have it fail. And then there is a spliceling containment here, so you got to be careful about that. Noted. And then the genomic attenuator, which we have 1 of now, which reduces the side effect gene's metabolism by 1. So let's write that down too. There we go. Now, is that everything? There is an Archite capsule here. But I think that is, and then of course the actual injector itself, plus a battery. So yeah, that is all the pieces that we got in this main laboratory. Okay, doors forced open. Here's what I'm going to do. I am a little wary of shooting in a science lab. I dodged the acid. Good. That's what I was trying to do, is just juke. Done. Only got a little bruised. Much better than before. So now this room is made to be safe. So at this point, I think what I'm going to do is assemble a laboratory here, because I don't necessarily need to be running from here all the way up here. It's kind of obnoxious. And we got 2 Archite capsules as a result, which allows us to do even more genetic experimentation. So there's a lot more monsters to be kicked out of this of the zone. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's this room or some sort of room over there that we don't know about yet either. But we're almost done claiming the lab for our own. Forbid the door to the heat room? Yeah, let's do it. I mean, it doesn't get so hot that it's going to kill anyone, but it's, like, unpleasant. And then, if anyone needs to leave... So I think what I'm going to do is have Red Mist go out because of mood. But yeah, pretty good. If we take a look at the full picture here, we're missing the mutagen inhibitor core. We're missing the trait selection, which would be really nice. The aberration redirector, which would be really nice. And then a bunch of the smaller items. But we're pretty good. Pretty decent lab collection already. As well as like a sun lamp. And I'll double check the full numbers of this lab sheet once it's all reassembled. Thank you for tuning in to the Stalwart Ancients, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow ancients.